Hello, fifth grade. Welcome to lesson 4-4, multiply a decimal and a whole number. Please write down your I can statement. I can use place value and an algorithm for multiplying whole numbers to multiply a decimal and a whole number. Please pause, write down your lesson title and your I can statement, and press play when you're ready to move on. Okay, in today's lesson, there are no vocabulary terms, but we'll go ahead and look at our problem. A car travels at 1 and 1500 kilometers in 1 minute. If it travels at a constant speed, how far will it travel in 3 minutes? In 5 minutes? Solve this problem any way you choose. Well, before we begin, as always, we use cubes to help us understand the problem. Let's go ahead and get my pen working here. With cubes, we need to circle the important numbers. So our car is traveling at 1 and 1500 kilometers in 1 minute. The question, though, is asking us how far will it travel in 3 minutes and in 5 minutes. We need to underline that question, how far will it travel in 3 minutes and in 5 minutes. Important words are that we're looking at kilometers. We're looking at how far it will travel. We also want to kind of visualize and evaluate the problem so we really understand. So we're in a car. We don't always talk about kilometers in our country, but sometimes we talk about miles per hour, but kilometers is just another way to measure using the metric system. So we're traveling in our car. We go 1 and 1500 kilometers in 1 minute. We need to know how far we'll travel in 3 minutes in kilometers and how far we'll travel in 5 minutes in kilometers. At this time, you'll go ahead and press pause. Solve this problem any way you choose, and when you're ready, you can see how I solved it, and I'll show you some other examples as well. All right, now that we're back, I'm going to start by doing some standard algorithm multiplication of a decimal and a whole number. So I've got to do two pieces of work. I'm going to have to multiply 1 and 1500 times 3, and then I'm going to have to multiply 1 and 1500 times 5, because I'm going to get two answers for this problem, because it's asking me how far it will travel in two different time frames. So let's go ahead and work on the first one. All right, 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 more is 4, and 1 times 3 is 3. Now I've got to count over my places to see where my decimal point goes, and I'm going to have to move two place value places starting here, 1, 2. So at 3 minutes, we're going to go 3 and 4500 kilometers. So now we have to find the answer to how far we'll go in 5 minutes. So we will write it out like this. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 more is 7, and 1 times 5 is 5. I'm going to count over my decimal places, and I will do the same here to find where my decimal point goes. So in 5 minutes, I would travel 5 and 7500 kilometers. Okay, so we have answered both parts of that question. Let's take a look and see some strategies that other people might have used. All right, in this student's work, they set up a table to show how far the distance would be traveled at each minute. So it does not show their work using standard algorithm like I did, but they kind of went through and probably did that work over to the side, and then they looked to see what it would be at 3 minutes and at 5 minutes. And they got the same answers that we did. In Alvaro's work, let's see, his answers didn't make sense because his distance at 4 minutes, it says, is less than the distance at 3 minutes. And all of the distances are much larger. So can we figure out what mistake Alvaro made? I noticed that none of his answers have decimal points in them. So he has written them as whole numbers. And so that's what he forgot to do. He forgot to go in to make those decimals. In your journal, please explain the strategy that you used step by step so that someone could follow that and understand how to solve the problem, and then be ready to share your problem solving strategy in class tomorrow. Thank you.